Welcome back, everybody, to the Colorado Rockies franchise on MLB The Show 21. Draft day is approaching. It's our first draft of the series. We're going to go through some of my favorite prospects in this draft here in this episode. I'm actually looking forward more to next year's draft because we're probably going to have a very high pick. Currently, the worst team in the majors. A few offensive players are turning things around. Charlie Blackmon, Trevor Story playing a bit better as of late. The pitching has gone from like 30th to like 25th, so it's a little bit better. But just a couple months into the season, we're already thinking about the future and finding players to build around. There's nothing specific I'm looking for in this upcoming draft. Our needs are basically everything. This team needs a full rebuild. Pitching, hitting. We're trying to find as much impact as we can, whether it's to help out the rotation or to become stars to build around that play every day. Here are some of the top players that we are targeting in this class. Jimmy Abernathy might be the first pitcher that is selected. He's 22 years old. Doesn't have the best strikeout upside, but has a lot of above average traits here. Robert Slaughter at second base, also 22 years old. He can play short as well. Really good contact hitter and should be a great fielder. Bryant Samble is another option at starting pitcher. I'm really prioritizing that home run per 9 rating. Just playing in Coors, that's going to have a lot of value. And I've done my best to scout players not just at 80 potential, hoping that later in the draft we're still able to draft players we've scouted a little bit. Sometimes I sim a little too much at a time and forget to have more players scouted. I forget how long it takes to fully scout players. But there are some pretty good options here. I'm hoping to come away with a starting pitcher in the first 2 to 3 picks. But my favorite player perhaps in this whole class is in the outfield. David Geronimo, 21 years old, MLB ETA of 2022. He's 5'8", 161, hits for contact and hits for power, and should at least be average in the field. I have no idea when these players will be drafted, but he's going to be one of the highest on my board. I also really like the long-term upside of Mario Camacho as a relief pitcher, who I think has the stamina to be more of a long relief pitcher. And speaking of pitching, as we continue on with this season, last episode, John Gray went on the injured list, and we are going to be calling up Derek Rodriguez, a 26-year-old with B potential, who's really been tearing it up down at AAA this season. We have to get somebody up to start, and Rodriguez is set to make his Rockies debut. He was formerly drafted by the Minnesota Twins and started for a couple of years with the San Francisco Giants. The main rating that intrigued me with him was the 99 break. I'm not sure he's going to be a dominant strikeout pitcher, but if he can control pitches with that much break, we can find a spot for him to play. So let's get into a matchup against the Texas Rangers, an interleague matchup against a team we won't see all that often. And Derek Rodriguez makes his first start for the Rockies. In the shortened 2020 season, he didn't pitch all that much, just 4 innings, so you have to go back to 2019 where he pitched 99 innings, but he had a 5.6 ERA that year and a 1.4 whip. Facing his first batter of the day, Brock Holt falling behind 3-0. Rodriguez able to find the zone, and the 3-1 fouled away as Rodriguez battles back to get the count full. Payoff pitch on the outside corner, a changeup swung on and missed. Rodriguez gets the first strikeout against the first hitter he faces. That brings up Nick Solak. This time Rodriguez gets ahead in the count and gets him with the big 12-6 curveball. 2 quick strikeouts. That brings up the former Rocky David Dahl, who's going the other way. This one's going back. Tapia to the track. He's got enough room. A 1-2-3 first inning for Derek Rodriguez. In this matchup, the Rockies are up against Kohei Arihara, playing his first season with the Texas Rangers, coming over from Japan where he was a 2-time All-Star. He doesn't get a lot of strikeouts, but when he's doing well, the ball is staying on the ground, and you want that in this stadium. Hampson puts it on the ground, but it goes right up the middle. A breaking ball left up. A first pitch hit for Hampson, and then Fuentes goes after the first pitch, and this falls in right center field. 2 pitches, 2 quick hits for the Rockies. And this is an offense that struggled in episodes that we've played recently, so it would be nice to get the bats going. Full count facing Charlie Blackmon. And that's a walk drawn by the veteran outfielder. Bases loaded. And CJ Cron, who has cooled off after his hot start, he's now hitting .246. Gets ahead 3-0, and Arihara misses inside. Walking home Hampson, and the Rockies take the lead. Bases still loaded for Raimel Tapia, who gets ahead in the count 3-1. Line drive over to first, and lucky to not be doubled up, but now 2 down. Now, last episode, Brendan Rodgers came off the injured list. We're hoping he's a big part of this rebuild, but it's been a slow start for him, hitless in his last 4, 0 for 13. And he drives this one to right center field. That's getting down. Rodgers will have extra bases. 2-run score for Colorado. Cron hits the brakes halfway around third base and can't get back. The inning is over. But an RBI double for Hampson, 3 on the board for the Rockies, a good start to the game. Second inning for Derek Rodriguez facing Joey Gallo, who is fishing outside for that one, not anywhere close. That's the 3rd strikeout for Rodriguez. Then facing Nate Lowe on the inside corner, and then 12-6 is over for the 2nd strike. Lowe swings and misses at the changeup, and Rodriguez strikes out 4 of the first 5 batters he faces. That brings up the veteran Chris Davis, batting 6th for Texas. Works the count full, and he goes down swinging. How about 5 strikeouts in the first 2 innings? And to make his Rockies debut even more exciting, he's going to right center field. We haven't had many hits this year from the pitchers, but Rodriguez is in with a double. He wanted 3. No, it's the same thing that happened to CJ Cron in the first inning. I gotta be more careful there. They don't get back as fast as I thought they did. We go to the 3rd inning, still 3-0 Colorado, and Rodriguez ends up walking Charlie Culberson. Trying to maintain this fantastic start. Arihara puts down the bunt. Rodriguez covering, nice play, with Culberson moving into scoring position. Back to Brock Holt with 2 down, and grounded over to Rodgers. Inning over. Good start for the Rockies. Now, Trevor Story, a lot of talk about him. Will we make a trade? I think that's going to be likely around the deadline. Unfortunately, we just haven't had, great offense from him in a lot of these games. He's done a little bit better in some of the simmed action, but 1 down for Charlie Blackmon, who stays patient, works the count full, and he walks to first base. Pretty tough start to the game for Kohei Arihara, walking 3, giving up 3 in the first. Trying to settle into the game as CJ Cron rips one over third base. That's in for a hit. 2 on once again for Colorado and Brendan Rodgers. This time he lines it into left center field, and once again we'll have extra bases. Rodgers to second. Cron waved around, and he will score. 5-0 Colorado, and a pair of 2-run doubles for Brendan Rodgers. That is exactly what we wanted to see from him, and that would be it for Kohei Arihara. A very short outing as the Rangers go to Mike Foltynewicz, who is pitching out of the bullpen. Obviously, he started for many years, so he can put together a lot of innings with a solid outing. And Elias Diaz hitting one into right field, and you can't do anything more with that pitch. It's a slider low and away. Does a good job of putting it in right field, and that brings home Rodgers. Rockies take a 6-0 lead as we head to the 4th, and David Dahl sends one deep to right. A couple feet shy of a home run, and Dahl rounds second. I didn't think he'd actually want 3 here, but he gets the triple. And the Rangers get one of their first scoring opportunities of the game. Derek Rodriguez facing the power-hitting Joey Gallo. 1-1. This one's crushed to right center. 2 runs for the Rangers. Tried to challenge him inside there with the fastball, and Gallo crushes it 451 feet for his 14th homer of the season. Gotta be a bit more careful pitching to Joey Gallo. Still a 4-run lead for Colorado as Nate Lowe lines out into the shift. We'll take it to the 5th inning, same score, and Rodriguez with a really solid pitch count, but Culberson crushes him to left field, and that gets out in a hurry. 2nd home run allowed, and the Rangers have cut this lead in half. Rodriguez wasn't getting the strikeouts like he was those first 2 innings. Here is Jonah Heim, the catcher. Rodriguez does get ahead in the count and gets him to chase the high fastball. That is strikeout number 6, first since the 2nd inning. And then Mike Foltynewicz, with Rodriguez having issues finding the strike zone, just gives him a pitch right down the middle, and Folty laces a single to center. At this point, getting a little bit worried about Rodriguez in this matchup as Holt grounds one to Fuentes. Out at second, a big double play for the Rockies. And that would be it for Derek Rodriguez. I thought it was a pretty good outing, just a couple pitches they were able to crush. And then Brendan Rodgers, not quite another double, grounding out back to Foltynewicz. The offense really started to slow down once Foltynewicz came into the game. A bit more velocity to deal with, and I felt like he wasn't giving us as many pitches up. This is a pretty bad swing, strike 3, as the Rangers take it to the 6th, down by 3 runs. Ben Bowden's been really solid out of our bullpen this year. He's been eating up a lot of innings this season and doing a pretty good job even against righties. This one's going deep to right, though, and this is going to be over the head of Charlie Blackmon, and that is a double for Nick Solak. The concern I have with Bowden is that he's not really going to get a lot of strikeouts, so you've got to hope for some weak contact. David Dahl hits this one to center. Hampson throwing to third with Solak moving up, and he will take third base. Texas trying to cut into this lead even further. Joey Gallo, slider over the middle. Bowden gets away with one, and then puts the slider in a much better location. Gallo strikes out. 2 away for Nate Lowe. 0-2, driven out to left, sending Tapia back at the track to make the catch. Texas comes close, but still trail by 3 as we go bottom 6. Garrett Hampson, line drive into right center field. We love hitting there. And once that's touching down, it's 3 all the way. Not content with a double, Hampson to third easily. And somehow this is only his 2nd triple of the season. There should be a lot more to come. Here's Josh Fuentes falling behind. Foltynewicz trying to keep the Rangers in this game. And that's smashed to right center field once again. Fuentes will have extra bases as Hampson scores. The hitting was just more consistent in this game. We weren't reliant on just eventually hitting a home run. Now looking for Trevor Story to join the fun. 0 for 3 on the day. And struggling to put the ball in play. 0-2. Another slider swung through, and these are hittable pitches. An 0 for 4 day to this point for Trevor Story. That brings up Charlie Blackmon. That's a base hit into right. He reaches again. Not testing. Runners at the corners. Here's C.J. Cron. And he's going the other way. Slicing toward the line. And a nice catch with enough room. Rangers trail by 4 as we go to Robert Stevenson. He's been really reliable out of the bullpen. We have a few bullpen pitchers that I've really liked this season. Starting here against Chris Davis, he chases the slider and then can't catch up to the fastball up. That brings up Culberson, who went yard earlier, and he strikes out on the fastball as well. This one at 95. Then Jonah Heim strikes out looking at the fastball. 3 quick strikeouts for Robert Stevenson. Rockies just trying to hold on here in the late innings, maybe looking for one more insurance run. Elias Diaz 0-2. This is on the ground, knocked down at short, and an infield single. So we're going to our bench, looking for more players to step up, and Connor Joe has been up with the big league roster now for I think around a week and a half. Connor Joe hits one hard to center field, but it's playable. 7-3 through 7 innings. And Michael Givens has been the 8th inning pitcher for us in most of these games. Just a 2.7 ERA, he's done a really good job as well. 1-2, struck out again. That time Willie Calhoun coming off the bench. And then Brock Holt, he falls behind. Givens, 2 strikes. Misses upstairs. Holt ends up working this count full. And Givens clips the inside with the fastball. Strike 3 looking. That brings up Nick Solak. And he strikes out on the changeup. Stevenson and Givens each strike out the side. We'll head to the 8th inning. Josh Fuentes doubled earlier and is again going to right center field. This one's hit pretty well. Fuentes, though, rounds second. He's headed to third, and he's got the triple. Rockies would like one more. How about Trevor Story getting his first hit or at least an RBI? Not gonna happen here. Strike 3. That brings up CJ Crone with 2 away, and he strikes out as well. So we head to the 9th, a 4-run lead. So I felt like this was a good chance to see Jordan Sheffield, who hasn't had great numbers since I called him up, but I wanted to see him get a few innings. Gives up a sharp single to open the 9th. Then Joey Gallo, obviously trying to avoid the home run ball. He swings through a changeup. Won't offer a pretty good fastball off the outside corner. And the 3-2 swung on and missed. Good changeup from Jordan Sheffield. Nate Lowe with a man on first. He falls behind in the count. 0-2 from Sheffield. Not called a strike. Pretty good pitch once again. Lowe battling back as the count runs full. Here's the payoff pitch from Sheffield, and it's on the ground through the left side, a base hit. Tapia has some trouble with it, and David Dahl's going to get to third base. Now runners at the corners for Texas, as Chris Davis gets a chance. Sheffield gets ahead of him with the miss on the fastball. 1-2, down the line, base hit for Davis. Cut off by Tapia, a run scores. And the tying run now at the plate for the Texas Rangers. So we're going to Daniel Bard, who has converted 9 out of 12 save opportunities and is stepping in facing Charlie Culberson. The slider is in for strike 1 and the fastball for strike 2. Bard gets ahead quickly. And the 0-2 on the ground. Flip to second. Return to first, and the Rockies win the game. 7-4. Really fun game. We got out to a great start. Got the bats going in the first and third innings. Didn't hit any home runs, but made some really good contact on extra base hits throughout the game. Really happy seeing us get 14 hits. A lot of those were doubles. Also drew a few walks. Brendan Rodgers has perhaps his best game as a Rocky. Still chasing that first career home run, I'm pretty sure. I thought Rodriguez had a pretty good start, just felt like they were starting to get success in the 5th and wanted to go to the bullpen there. So excited to see his next starts and how they go. But the Rangers struck out 14 times in this game, and I believe we struck out the side in 3 out of the 9 innings. They just never had anybody on base, it felt like. And that is our last game now before draft day. So next episode is going to be the MLB draft. We'll have some new players to talk about, and hopefully we can make those first couple of picks really count because this team really needs the talent. I think we're getting excellent play right now from Garrett Hampson batting leadoff. We got to see Brendan Rodgers today. Who else can we add to this team? We could really use some high-level pitching prospects. I feel like most of the good pitchers in this system are going to be like third or fourth rotation pitchers. Guys like Austin Gomber and Derek Rodriguez if they pan out. So I'm thinking either with that first or second pick, we have to make sure we get a high potential starting pitcher. So there are a few more players I'm able to get scouting info on. And let me know, based on the players you've seen here, who are your favorites. Also, making sure we don't trade Trevor Story until after the draft is important, because if I can't come away with like a really good starting pitcher, maybe that ends up being the focus of a Story trade down the road. So next time, MLB draft and a look at the top prospects down in the minor leagues. Can't wait to get further into this season, and I'm sure before too long we'll be on to season 2. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this episode of the Colorado Rockies franchise. Please leave your feedback down below, and if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.